Yeah, well, you know it. It's bad to the bone. And you know why? Because I am bad to the bone. This is the baddest show on Wednesday night, the best show on Wednesday night. It's called the Ralph's Opinion Show. And we are here tonight to talk about national topics, including the government shutdown. My emails have blown up all over, all across the country and around the world, and locally here, and where I live here near Ocean City, Maryland. My have blown up. Ralph, what's your thoughts on the government shutdown? Ralph, what are you going to say? I told everybody tonight to be here, and I'm sorry that we're here late tonight. I had another obligation on another show at 7:30. I was asked to be on another national program, so I was on there tonight, and I moved this show to 9 o'clock tonight. And if you're into sports and you really want to talk some sports tonight, you can talk to my friends at Steel City Sports World. They're on the air right now. Check them out on YouTube and Facebook with Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier, Fillmore, and Big Row. Check them guys out tonight. They have some special guests and everything else as well. All right, everybody. It's great to be here tonight. Once again, I am Ralph Willuiams, your host, and we're here every Wednesday, usually around 7:30. But tonight we're here at 9 o'clock because of my prior obligation to another show. All right, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studio, 724-201-0500. We're here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, and Mata is our studio sponsor. Also, we're sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Call today, area code 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty. If you have any real estate needs, any rentals you want to do, anything you want to do real estate-wise, or anything that has anything to do with any kind of real estate, call Mike Dotson today. That number again, 410-596-1681, Delmarva area and the Ocean City Realtor. Also, our new sponsor, Carey Insurance Group. Call Steve at area code 302-642-6201. That's 302-642-6201. Carey Insurance Group. And I just worked out another contract with another sponsor down in this area. The interesting part about it was, as long as I lived in Pittsburgh, I couldn't get too many sponsors up there. But guess where I'm getting sponsors at now? Down here in the Delmarva area, right around here. And you can be a sponsor too. It's on the ticker tape on the bottom there. Call us, email us, and we will get you there. Carey Insurance Group, they cover all kinds of insurance of all different types. Give them a call, especially homeowners insurance, car, any kind of insurance. Renters, Steve will take very good care of you. That number again, 302-642-6201. All right, let's get started with the Ralph's Opinion Show tonight. I don't have to say anything. It's there. It's called the government shutdown. All right. Later on, as you know, in this show, we do the Donald Trump, President Trump, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You might as well say this is ugly right off the bat. It's turned ugly because we're going into almost a month, 2 weeks, maybe 3, going into a month almost. And now it's threatening food stamps. I have friends that are on food stamps. I have friends that are on disability. I have friends that are on Social Security. I have friends everywhere that are all involved in this. I have a friend of mine down in North Carolina who emailed me today. Ralph, what's going on with this? I'll tell you what's going on with it. It is a cluster screw of mega you-know-what proportions. I don't need to go there. This has become a serious situation now where it's affecting the poor folks. And I know what you're going to say. Blame it all on President Trump. Blame it all on the Republicans. No, the Democrats are to blame for this as well, because they don't want to sit and they don't want to be involved in none of this. It's either their way or no way. And that's not the way you run a government. And I know what you're going to tell me. Well, Ralph, President Trump does the same thing. Yeah, maybe he does. Okay, just maybe he does. But let me say this, okay? It's not right. It's not right to screw over poor people because you don't want to do something. The Democrats are doing that. And the Democrats who used to be for the poor are no longer for the poor. They're no longer for the middle class. Okay? You just think about that for a second. When was the last time a Democrat did anything for a union? The Republicans have done for the working class. They have. Look at Nippon Steel. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Nippon Steel, U.S. Steel. Take a look at that deal. Take a look at some of the manufacturing that's coming to the United States, some of the AI all across the areas in the United States. 8.2 million jobs. That's not President Trump's fault that nobody wants to work. That's not President Trump's fault that we have a sagging economy. You blame it on him because of the tariffs. That's not exactly all. This started during COVID. It started when they started giving out money to everybody. And now the Democrats have gotten as lazy as some of these people out here who don't want to work. And now they're causing a big problem. They represent you. You should get them out of there. It's not acceptable to you. To me, it should be acceptable to you as well. That's not acceptable. We have a government shutdown, education. So I mentioned it, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, everything else. That affects me. I am on Social Security because I'm disabled and in a wheelchair. Okay? I rely on my Medicaid for my medication. My friend said he has an insulin pump, and he needs all the medication he can get, and now he has to pay for it, literally, because he needs it, because of his Medicaid getting cut or whatever, because of this ridiculous bill. Okay? And I explained it to you what Senator Dave McCormick of Pennsylvania explained it to me. It's not to punish the poor people. It's to get rid of the waste that's going on in Medicaid, Medicare, and the Social Security Administration. $150 million in waste in Social Security of people who were manipulating it fraudulently on Social Security, putting names in there from 2045 to 2095, that kind of thing. All right. But see, the thing that gets me here, everybody, is the fact that this is acceptable to you. Acceptable to you. Why? Why is it acceptable to you? Okay? How many times have I said this on this program? You would rather go out and scam somebody than go out and get a job. And that's what's going on right now. We have a government shutdown, and it's bad. And I don't care what anyone thinks. Oh, you voted in President Trump because of the egg prices. No, that ain't the reason why. I want a strong leader. I want somebody that makes some decisions. I want somebody that's capable. I want somebody that has a good record of doing things. This man has done a lot of what he can do. And I know you're all saying out there, well, we have the big, beautiful bill. That affects you too. Yes, it is affecting me right now because there's a government shutdown because we got Chuck Schumer and the other Democratic guy, the light-skinned guy, black guy, who continues to just go ramble on and on and on. And he was told by President Trump he will not sit down with the Democrats until that guy shuts up. It's that simple. Shut up, sit down, and work this out. You know what it's turning into? It's turning into being like children. That's exactly what it's turning into. Children. All right? Kindergarten children. People who can't, nowadays, forget about even trying to even talk to somebody because you end up, excuse me. Excuse me. I got an issue with my throat here today. All right? And the sad part about it is you're acting like children in a school play yard. Oh, you didn't give me the ball. Oh, this, that, and whatever. Yeah. Children. All right. Here, I got something for the Democrats right here. I'm going to show you what I got for the Democrats. Okay. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, I got something for all you Democrats. Okay, here it is. Exactly. And you know why? Because that's exactly what it is. You're nothing but big dummies. Let's sit down and work this out, Chuck Schumer. Let's sit down and work this out. Let's quit doing this. Okay? You flap your gums, you get mad, you get angry, and you tie everything up. All right? On the way I see it, I'm going to tear apart Governor Shapiro up in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania still doesn't have, I have friends up in Pennsylvania because that's where I'm from. I moved down here to Ocean City, Maryland. All right. I'm leading a better life for myself. I got some hiccups here. Please, it's not the paradise I wanted it to be so far. I've got a lot of hiccups. Okay. But the hiccups will work themselves out. All right. Air traffic controllers don't want to come to work. The airports are jammed up. Federal workers are telling them to go. Okay. And we have this big time problem. And you know what's sad? Progressive Democrats don't even care. Summer Lee and all these other people don't care. And you know who stepped up and said something about the Democrats? John Fetterman. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman. All right. And I want to give him, this for that. All right. But this is what our country is right now, on an alarm. And we're on an alarm because you know why? This is where we are. The longest government shutdown in the history of this country because we can't get along. Nobody wants to sit down and discuss it. You got President Trump going on and on about how this guy's saying this and this guy's saying that, and everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that. Okay? All right? And then you got people sitting there laughing about it. And here's the biggest part of them all. This is a bad thing that President Trump's doing, and that's part of the good, bad, and the ugly. And we're going to get into that in a second here. All right? But first, I got something that I want to do here. All right? Okay? And I have this for the Democrats. I do. I have this for the Democrats. Okay? And the reason I'm doing this for the Democrats is because I've had enough. Okay? I have had enough. So, it's unbelievable what I'm seeing right now. All right? Terrible. Very terrible. Very bad. And, it's not good. It really isn't. It's not good at all. Okay? All right. Here we go. All right. I got something for you, for all you Democrats. Here it is. This is the Democrats. Okay? That's the Democrats. All right? Okay? And you know what? Every one of you can stick it. Because you know what? The party that I'm in, the Democratic Party, shame on you. Shame on you progressives out there who think that it's just, we can let criminals out on the street. And then you want to know why ICE is everywhere. You want to know why we have immigrants getting picked up. You want these people in your community. You want them, and I said this once and I'll say it again. And if it's insensitive, too bad. What happens? You want to defund the police. You want to get rid of the cops. You're angry with them. You're mad at them. But then you want to know why President Trump sent in the National Guard into your city. Because you don't want police there. You don't like police. You're mad at police. Police this, police that. Forget the police. Suck the police and all this other stuff. When I was younger, if you said that to the cop, you'd go to jail. Now, they're afraid to put anybody in jail because these judges out here that are progressives are letting them out. Okay? Keep it up. When your house gets robbed, when your car gets broken into, when your daughter gets sexually assaulted, when your son gets murdered or something, or gets hit by a car, and you can't find the guy because there's no police. You can't find the guy when your business gets robbed. But you want to be a progressive Democrat. You want to get rid of police. You don't like the National Guard in your town. Well, then do something about it. The election's November 4th in a lot of places. Go out and vote these people out. Get them out of here. All right? And maybe you would have a budget. Maybe we wouldn't have this federal shutdown. You keep putting in the Chuck Schumers and some of these other people in here. And don't you think that after a while it gets old? Don't you think that after a while it gets the same old, same old? Mike Johnson, the same old, same old. Let's get somebody else in here. All right? Next, on the way I see it, I got a lot to say about Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. Shame on him. And I'll tell you that on the way I see it. That's coming up next. We got a lot to talk about there as well. All right. Let's get into President Trump, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. It's that simple. The bad is, why would you give money to Argentina, $20 million, Afghanistan or something? Why are you giving money to people when we have a government shutdown, President Trump? That's bad. That's bad. You got homeless people out here. You got food banks getting ready to shut down. You got all this other stuff going on, and we're giving money to Argentina or Afghanistan or whatever. We should give nothing to nobody right now. We got to worry about ourselves. How many times have I said, let's quit policing the world? All right. Now we got this big argument about missiles with Ukraine. Well, the United States is still giving weapons out. We're not giving you any cash, but we're giving you weapons. All right. But the good news here, the bad news about all this is President Trump, and this is what's looking bad for him, is the fact that he said in 24 hours, upon getting sworn in, he was going to have this war between Ukraine and Russia ended, gone. And it's still there. It's still there. Israel, Gaza. Guess what now? The Hamas is firing at Israeli soldiers trying to withdraw. Where was the peace agreement at here? Looks bad for President Trump. Last week I said it was good because it was good. Now it's bad. So this week, what was good about anything that President Trump did? What? He's fixing up the West Wing or the East Wing or whatever. He's turning it into a big ballroom. We have a government shutdown, and we're worried about a ballroom at the White House. That's bad again. The only good thing, stocks were up this week. The only other good thing, gas prices stayed the same. The other good are starting to still go down. The bad thing is, food prices are still going up. These tariffs are kicking everybody in the butt. My contractor, who came here to do work on my house, had to charge me extra because of these tariffs. Lumber, nails, supplies, whatever that comes from wherever. And here we are. Tariffs are killing us, supposedly. Now, according to our government, the tariffs are making money. That's good. If that's true, that's good. All right, that's the good part of this, if the tariffs are actually making money according to what's going on. All right, Pensman Sports. Thank you, Pensman. Watching on home and watching the NBA. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Pensman. Absolutely. It's all nonsense. All right. So you know what you do? You go to the polls. You vote these people out. And you get somebody in there with some common sense. Please do not vote these progressives in here anymore. Get them all out. Okay? Get them all out. Door. Gone. See ya. Nice to meet you. Nice knowing you. All right? This should give you the message that you need to do something about the legislature in Washington, D.C. It should do this for you. All right? We're worrying about the Epstein files and our government shutdown. It's looking bad for President Trump unless this government shutdown stops. And I know what you're telling me. It's all his fault. No, it's not. There's plenty of blame to go around. Okay? You know President Trump doesn't take no for an answer. You know the Democrats don't get along with President Trump. And then for you to even come out here, and here's the worst of this all. For you to come out here and say, well, he's not going into any Republican cities with the National Guard. He's going to with the Republican, the Democratic cities. No, he wants our country safe. Unlike you, the progressive Democrat who defunds the police. And I give him kudos for that. All right, we'll do that. Pittsburgh is another city that needs a National Guard. There's some other cities around that need the National Guard. Our major cities, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, all right, just to name a few, need to fix themselves up. Los Angeles is a mess. And I don't care what Gavin Newsom says. All right? I give kudos to President Trump. I think it's one of the best things he's done to send the National Guard into these towns where it's unlawful and unruly. He's using our military like he should to protect our country. Exactly, Pensman. Philly, Pittsburgh, and Los Angeles. Okay? Baltimore. I live near Baltimore. I'm 2 hours away. My father lived in Baltimore. You know what my father told me? I wanted to go to Baltimore to visit him. He said, don't come here. It's dangerous. I talked to a kid down here in Ocean City when I was here the last time, before I moved here. You know what he said to me? He said he lives in Baltimore. He sleeps here. His employer puts him up at an apartment or a hotel or something. All right? Because the city's unruly. He had to leave. He had to get out. He had to stay here in Ocean City. Not that that's anything bad, but do you understand what I'm getting at? Firsthand, Baltimore, horrible place to be. Needs the National Guard. But you don't want them there. You don't want ICE coming in doing anything to immigrants. You don't want ICE coming in and get rid of the troublemakers that steal from old ladies, that sexually assault your daughters, murder your sons, and steal from you. And please do not take this the wrong way, I have no problem with any foreign person owning a business. But I have a problem when they disrespect an American person. I've gone into some stores and I've been disrespected. I've been thieved. I've been crooked out. Okay? And that's why a lot of folks like myself have a bad attitude about foreigners owning businesses. Okay? All right? They need to understand it's a privilege to come to America and be an American citizen. It's a privilege. Okay? They don't understand that. He said at the gas station is one of them. Absolutely. All right, we got about 7 minutes left in the program here before we move on to the way I see it. But wait, I'm going to tell you a little story here about my interaction with a foreigner at a business. I live near a convenience store in a community in Pittsburgh called McKees Rocks. I was going home from work. I was at the time driving a public transit bus, making good money. Had my uniform on, everything else. Walked in the store, paid for my stuff. I had to leave the bag on the counter because I had a phone call that was an emergency that I had to take outside. I don't want, like other people do, I didn't want everybody in the store to know my business. So I walked outside, left my groceries sitting on it. I had the receipt in my hand. I come back in with the receipt and I said, where's my bag of groceries that I left sitting here? I had an emergency and I had to take this phone call and I had to go outside. I even said this, unlike everyone else in this store, I don't spread my business around in the store, around everybody. Okay? All right? It's none of nobody's business. Come back in. He said, you're a thief. Your stuff's not here. I'm not going to do this. Brandon Keeler's tuning in on Facebook. Thank you, Brandon. From the Sports Nuts. I want to thank him. I was on with him at 7:30. He asked me to come on in emergency because one of his guys wasn't on. So he asked me to come on tonight. There it is, the Sports Nuts Show. Also, my good friend Pensman Sports is on with us. Don't forget to tune in, subscribe, and do everything with his broadcast and the Tiger Stripes Media with Brian Pettit. Okay? So he's calling me a thief. And I said, I want my groceries. Here's my receipt. You're a thief. Oh, I'm a thief. I said, first of all, you come to my country, you steal this business. You're here on my soil that my father fought in Vietnam for. Okay? And other Americans who have fought in all the wars across this world, in this country, in the military. And you're going to come to me on my soil, I own this town. I pay taxes. You don't. And you're going to disrespect me? I let him have it. He said, you need to leave. I call police. I said, go call him. I know the lieutenant. Go call him. I dare you to call the police. Okay? And there we are. I was there getting groceries. My wife called me, said she needed something, so I had to go back in and purchase it. I was looking for my other groceries that I had already purchased. None of nobody's business what I was talking about on the phone with my wife at the time. And he called me a thief. Or you would let somebody do that. I don't do that. Because it's to me, if you're going to be in my country, you're going to smile and you're going to treat me with respect because I live here and pay taxes. You don't. All right. You come in here, you steal businesses away from people because our country would rather give a loan to an immigrant foreigner and let him have a business than giving it to an American. But maybe that'll change with President Trump, and it will. But see, President Trump's only got 4 years, and he's already almost 1 year into his term now. And he's done more stuff, and he said more things, and he's done more of whatever in the last 8 months than any president that I've ever seen that has done anything. Actions speak louder than words, Democrats. All you do is this, but you do none of anything. Nothing. You do nothing whatsoever. And it's pathetic. And it's wrong. And you should vote him out. But you know what? You won't. I know. You won't vote him out. Just like you won't go out and get a job. Well, you sit there and preach, but you don't have a job. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm disabled. I've told you 200 times over, and I'm not going to tell you again, because if you don't understand what I'm saying, then I'll speak in Swahili. Okay? All right? So, there you are. I'm only looking to break even doing this. I'm not looking to make $1 million. I'm looking to break even. I'm doing this doing this for karma. I'm doing this for revenge, and I got a few other reasons why I do this. Because I love it. You might not like me, but I love you. You know why I love you? Because you know you'll watch me even though you don't like me. Okay? And I know what you're saying. There's a million other podcasts out there. Yeah, you'll watch the ones that go, you'll watch the ones where you got a 600-pound woman jumping off a diving board going into a roof. There'll be 10,000 views for that. But I can barely get 30 to watch this program. Why do you think I'm thinking about moving it to Blast Radio? Why do you think I'm thinking about moving it to Oracle Talk Radio? Why do you think I'm thinking about moving it to Spreaker? Because nobody on social media here gives a damn about my shows or any of my friends' shows, because you should be doing more of that than and people that act like a simpleton, but you'll support them. It's that simple. You'll support an idiot like Logan Paul. That's right. I called him an idiot, and you can tell him I said that. Okay? You get it now? And I'll blast anybody on this program or on any program that does me or any of you wrong. Does anybody else do that? No. You know why? Because unlike most of you, I care. Okay? And if you cared, you go out, you tell your friend, you tell your cousin, you tell somebody to get here, but you don't. And you know what? Earlier on the show, when Brandon Keeler had me on Sports Nuts, we were talking about how we all work together to help each other succeed, and we do. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, that's Ralph's opinion tonight on this. Stay tuned. Coming up next, The Way I See It, and we'll be back shortly. If you're leaving, if you're heading out, if you are not going to watch The Way I See It, and you like Ralph's opinion only, that's fine. Soon to be syndicated on the radio across the country. And then when that happens, what are you going to do then? Are you going to listen to me when I'm on some 10,000 radio stations all across the country and around the world? What are you going to say? Oh, I wish Ralph was on social media. Well, I was on social media, but you didn't watch. You didn't go out and talk. You didn't go out and say to people, hey, get on the air with Ralph. Help support his product. No, you support idiots like Logan Paul. Okay? You support idiots who weigh 800 pounds and jump off a diving board and go into the roof of somebody's house. Or drains the water out of the pool. That's funny. You know what I mean? Okay? That's funny. I can't even get 15 people to make it to 400 on my Twitter account. All right? All right, that's Ralph's opinion tonight. Everybody have yourself a great one. Coming up next, The Way I See It. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Willuiams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Willuiams.
Oh, yeah, it's another edition of The Way I See It. Oh, yeah, how about that, huh? Oh, yeah, I love it. Johnny's theme. I'll play that anytime by the late Doc Severinsen. Oh, my gosh, can that man play? All right, I'm Ralph Williams. It's great to be here tonight. I am your host for The Way I See It, the second show, 2 shows, 1 hour. Sometimes we go a little over, but who cares? All right. But anyway, tonight on The Way I See It, we have a lot to talk about, as we always do. Our topics are very simple tonight. We're going to be talking about Ocean City, Maryland. They have this new bike ordinance, this new ordinance about riding scooters on sidewalks. And now they want to clog up the bus lane and let the bicycles. This is another one of these things around the country. It's everywhere. It's in Pittsburgh. It's in Ocean City. It's all over the place. These bicyclers, they think they own the road and they don't. All right, it's that simple. But first, we got to pay some bills here. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Western Pennsylvania's number one heating and air conditioning company, Mata. You ought to call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, you ought to call Mata. All right, our next sponsor is Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland, 410-596-1681. Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Give him a call today if you have any real estate needs, including rentals or anything. If you want to buy a home, if you're buying a home for the summer, if you're buying a home to rent out, whatever you're going to do, call Mike today, 410-596-1681. Also, Carey Insurance Group, call Steve, area code 302-642-6201. Steve will set you up with anything you need insurance-wise in the Delaware, Maryland, what they call the Delmarva area of the region here where I live, along the coastline, along the East Coast here in the ocean. I get to see the Atlantic Ocean every day. It's a beautiful sight to see whenever I can get there to see it. And I got to tell you, it's great to see all that as well. All right. Okay. I want to talk a little bit today about a bunch of stuff here. All right. Let's talk about Delaware here for a minute. And I got something for some of these people in Delaware. Here we go. All right. No, hold on. Something happened here. I don't know what happened, but no, that's what happens when you have technical difficulties every now and again. Oh, there we go. All right, here we are. All right. You know why I played that? Because in Delaware, there's a couple towns in Delaware that want to build. They want to build housing. They want to put up jobs. They want to make it commercial. They want to make it retail. They want to make it homes, affordable housing. And this is what you get. All right. They call Delaware the no tax state. That's because there's no sales tax or there's no whatever tax. But then you'll complain and go to your legislature, go to these community meetings and bitch because my property taxes went up. You know why? Because you wouldn't let development happen in your community. I talked about this a little bit last week, but now it's gotten even further. Towns in Delaware, for some reason, have this problem that I know it's paradise. I live in somewhat of a paradise area. But I'm not against development. I'm only against development if it affects my community. And what I'm talking about is if we're going to have derelicts and we're going to have people who steal, we're going to have people who rob your home. I get that. I get it. I wouldn't want some of those people in my neighborhood. A lot of them are nice people. I'm not saying everybody's wrong or everybody that lives in the projects are bad people. What I'm saying is I get you don't want the people like that around. It's called the element. All right. So what do? You go and you do exactly what this baby was doing, and that's crying like one. There's too much. There's too much traffic. There's too much. Too much of this. Too much. I can't cross the street. Watch when you cross the street. Get off the cell phone, and then watch where you walk. It's not hard. We in America here make things difficult. Delaware, you're making it difficult. How about somebody going out and getting a job so that the post office in the one town in Delaware can be open that's been closed now because they don't have staff. Because nobody wants to work. When our post office is short, they have to bring people from Delaware or some other post office to come in and work. I know my mother was cussed out or was badly verbal abuse by some guy. And he's lucky I was strapped in my wheelchair in my van because I would have got out and punched him. And I don't care if I go to jail for hitting a federal employee. You do not talk to my mother like that. I will call you out on this program. I've done it before. I'll do it again. If you watch my Ralph report on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, I was comparing Pepto-Bismol tonight. Now Pepto-Bismol has decided to make a tall bottle instead of a wide bottle. Now it's the same ounce, more money. I'm trying to get you to save some money. Everybody's out there complaining about this federal shutdown. Everybody's out there complaining they don't have money, but they don't save, they don't watch, they don't look into what they're doing. You have to. You have to be like a squirrel who puts away nuts. You have to be like a bear who goes and gets fish and puts it and eats some protein and takes food and hides in a cave. That bear has to have enough food to hibernate for the winter. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be like animals and do things, not the animals that go out and attack people that you call an animal. All right? But Delaware, shut up. Stop it. The crying about development, the crying about putting up townhouses, the crying about this, the crying about a new hospital going up. What, you don't want to you'll benefit from a new hospital, but you don't want the tax money from Target. You don't want the tax money from Costco. You don't want the tax money from anybody that's going to spend at some of these places. That's going to be in your community. That's going to help your small business as these people move in here. You complain your small business is hurting. Why? Because you turned down development. There are people who don't want to go to Targets. They don't want to go to Costco's. That's on them. There are people who do. There are people who like to live in a community, such nice communities in Delaware, except for maybe Dover. I'm told Dover's a little bit of a problem area. Okay? You have progressive Democrats there, such as Joe Biden, who lives there in Rehoboth Beach. All right? So what I'm saying to you people in Delaware, and you could take this the wrong way, you could take it the right way. I don't want to hear no crying. I've beat up the businesses on the boardwalk in Ocean City for how many times I've heard them on the news whining and crying like the little baby that I played earlier that was crying. Because I don't want to hear that either. You had all these festivals this year. You made a fortune. Don't tell me you didn't make any money. The motels, the small dinky ones downtown that were complaining because they weren't making money. The festivals were there. That's a bunch of bull, because every time there was a festival here or any kind of an event that was here, I dodged it, but I went down a day or two before that, and all the parking lots and all the small motels were booked and full. No vacancy. And you know why? Because nobody wants to pay the high prices to stay at a hotel on the boardwalk, which is insane. And you know all about that. That's the way I see it about Delaware. I forgot to say that. Now let's talk about Ocean City a little bit. They want to do what Pittsburgh is doing. And if you listen to the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show, we are now on starting this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Sunday. Okay? The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show. There it is. We'll be on this Saturday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com. Okay? So, and then we'll be on Sunday from 10 to 11. We're in the process of being on weekdays and working some out with a radio station. Okay? The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno brand is moving along. The Ralph's Opinion show is moving along. RW Media Productions is moving along. I'm going to be on Highway Radio Hits every Thursday starting November 6th from 2 to 4 p.m. doing a drive time slot. Playing music. Going under my DJ name, DJ FUN Fun. Okay? So, here we are. Ocean City, Maryland wants to have a bike lane. They want to move the buses into the regular lane. Does anybody in Ocean City, in the government there, I tried to get a councilman on here. He wouldn't come on the show. He told me to go call this woman, and that woman told me to call that lady, and that lady told me to call that man, and that man said to go to hell. So there you go. All right. I make one phone call. You turn me down one time, you're done. All right. You get the picture now? Ocean City? No, you're not used to somebody like me. You're used to the butt kissers. I'm not a butt kisser. All right. I tell it like it is. I tell it the way I see it. That's why this show is the way I see it. That's why it's called Ralph's Opinion before that. 2 shows, 1 hour. And I know what you're saying, Mayor Rick Meehan. I'm here to beat you and the city council up. Yes, I am. You tried that short-term rental crap. It didn't work. You got the ordinance straightened out with the bicycles and the things on the sidewalk. I get that. Now you want to close off a lane, move buses out into the street. People got to walk out in the street. There's people that are elderly. There's handicapped like myself. There's maybe some other people who don't choose to walk off the curb, walk out into the street to get on a bus. And believe me, Rick Meehan, you're not playing with a rookie here. I've been around the block when it comes to transit. I was once the president of the Allegheny County Transit Council up in Pittsburgh. 3 terms I did. Plus I was vice president 2 times. I've been around transit. I know what it is. I fought for bus stops. I fought for transit up there. I fought for everything. And I'll do it here if that's what it takes. I'm for the common person. The common working person, the person who works, a person who has a small business that's trying to make out. But what I don't like is when you try to squeeze blood from a stone, and that's exactly what they do in Ocean City. All right. The Sunfest Festival's coming up this weekend, the last festival of the year. So now all the businesses can make all their money, and some of them go home until March or April or May or whatever. That's why I moved down here. I don't have the hustle and bustle. I don't have to worry about getting assaulted when I go downtown. Downtown's nice and quiet. I don't have to worry about the traffic. I don't have to worry about the knuckleheads. We have a few here, but it's not as bad as it is in Pittsburgh. We don't have defunded police down here. They don't play no games. You get it? Some of their laws are foolish. I can't stand them. Okay. But that's something that I can't control. That's your politicians. Want things to change, get them out. I say that all the time on Ralph's Opinion. Get them out. Get them all out of here. Out. Go. See ya. Toodaloo. Bye. Hasta la vista. All right. Gone. See ya. Get them out. You don't want to have to take a shooting test when it comes down to getting a gun permit. Out. Get them out. Pennsylvania, the county sheriff's department handles it. Guess what? $20 and I got a permit. They do a background check on me. I got a gun, I got a permit, I can walk. Go to the shooting range on my own time. Here, I got to drive all the way to Hagerstown, Maryland. I got to go to the state police barracks. I got to take a shooting test. And then I get a permit and I got to pay $100 because they're raising permit fees now because the state's $2 billion would it be $2 billion in a hole. And they're trying to find ways not to raise taxes, which is smart. Unlike up in PA, they always raise taxes. Why do you think Pennsylvania is called Taxylvania? You know why? Because everything revolves around a tax. Tax. They raise the prices of marijuana here. I am on medical marijuana. I don't pay taxes. Capiche? Okay. That's Italian for do you understand? All right. I need medical marijuana for my health purposes. It helps with my depression. It helps with my anxiety. It helps with a lot of things. Okay. Helps with the pain in my body. And I have a lot of it. Okay. Unlike everyone else that's probably in a wheelchair, and I'm not saying everybody's bad, but there are a lot of people that think it's gloom and doom in a wheelchair. I don't. You see what I do here. You see what I do here. You see what I put out there. You see how I'm working on doing radio, putting out stuff. Now I'm doing what I like to do. I don't get paid for it, but I'm doing what I love. And I love this. I love talking to you. I love telling you what's going on. I love to tell you what, I don't like when people rip somebody off. I will splash your business on this program faster than you can shake a stick. Okay. So let's go into one. Let's talk about Mattress Warehouse. You live around Ocean City here? Do not do business with Mattress Warehouse. They were mad at me, and they called me a liar, which I didn't appreciate because that I am not. because I failed to tell them that I had a California King mattress bed. All I know is it's a king size mattress. I'm not a bed expert. I don't know what's California bed, Maryland bed, California bed, or Ohio bed, or anything else. I don't know. It's called a California King. What that means, I don't know. I'm not from California. Okay. They got angry and decided to just stick my bed box spring in my mattress in my and the frame. They didn't put it together. Stuck it on my front deck and left. Do you want that kind of service? And I'm handicapped. That's even the worst of it all. Now, up in Pennsylvania, most of the time, it's not bad. But down here, it's been 50-50 with handicap. It's been 50-50. A lot of businesses do not have automatic door openers like Wawa, who actually, and I want to talk about this a little bit about Wawa. Wawa is a nationwide, or somewhat nationwide, along the East Coast here, convenience store. And I heard that they're beating the fast food restaurants in all the areas that they're in. I heard they're beating them in business and sales. The food is good at Wawa. There's a lot of convenience stores you go to, and the food's not good, but some of them have stepped up their game. Up in Pittsburgh, you got Gecko. You got some of these other places, Sheets, some of these places like that. But down here, it's Wawa. And Wawa has stepped up their game. They do a pretty good job with their food. And their people are very nice. When I need my gas pump, they come out and pump it. I had a guy give me a hard time because he was lazy. Didn't want to do his job. Didn't want to help the handicap. Didn't care. Every time I go to Walmart, can't get a handicap spot. Every time I go somewhere, there's somebody in a handicap spot that don't belong. Went to Grove City once. Grove City, PA. Very nice place. Got a nice outlet mall. Beautiful up in Grove City. Was thinking about moving there. And we decided to come here because it's the ocean and our health. Some of the health things down here, like for my eye right here, I have to go up to Pittsburgh. They can't help me down here. That's fine. I don't mind visiting my old city once in a while, doing business, getting some things done. Okay. You saw some of the stuff I did up in Pittsburgh. All right. So, when I went to Youngstown, when my nephew was in a hospital, we were in Youngstown for almost a month. I did all my shows from my hotel room. I was on Zoom for my transit meetings on my tablet down in the waiting room at the hospital. Okay. Isn't it amazing how technology has changed so much that I could meet with somebody about a sponsorship advertising in Pittsburgh and meet them on Zoom here? And they know why I moved on here. A lot of people know why I moved on here. I don't need to go into it. You want to know why? Go on my show from May. Backlog to the archives of Ralph's Opinion. I believe it was May 15th. I did a special top 10. Okay, top 10 reasons why I left Pittsburgh. Okay. But now Ocean City wants to have a specific bike lane because people don't know how to use a bicycle. They don't know how to use a scooter. They don't know how to use anything. Don't know how to drive. Don't know how to walk on a sidewalk. Don't pay attention. It's everywhere. It's not just in Ocean City. It's everywhere. Okay? Now, I promised, and that's the way I see it tonight. That ordinance needs to go away. You can't block up traffic, Rick Mahan and council. Well, since council members didn't want to come on my show, I'm going to blast you tonight. Okay? You're going to get it tonight. Don't play games with me, Ocean City. I don't have the time. Businesses, I'll blast you if you give me bad service. I will tear you apart on this program. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Because you know why? You've done nothing. All right? It's the way I see it tonight on that. Next, I promised everybody, and I'm going to do it right now. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, shame on you. Because not only is there a government shutdown, but Pennsylvania does not have a budget. We're going into what, 5 months now? What is it, June, July, August, September? 4 months. And it's about to be 5 the end of this month. Okay? What is going on there? You screwed the Republicans. Does anybody in Pennsylvania understand why right now there's no budget? Because your golden boy, Josh Shapiro, decided to take money from the education budget and put it somewhere else. He promised the Republicans when he did this next budget that there were going to be no cuts in education. Promised them. So let me ask you this. Do you want this man to be your president in 2028 when he can't keep a promise to the Republican Party? And he stuck it to him. So guess what the Republican Party is doing right now? They're sticking it back. Give us back our education money, and we'll sit down and talk about the budget. It's that simple, Governor Shapiro. You're going to have to eat it. You got egg on your face. And if I'm a Pennsylvania voter, I'd vote him out. And if I'm a Pennsylvania voter, I wouldn't vote for him for president. I don't care how much business he's produced. I don't care how much he's done anything. This is a major, again, just like the government shutdown now, this is a major cluster screw of a mega, you know what, proportion. Governor Shapiro, shame on you. He's done a lot of good things. He's bringing back mental health hospitals. He's buying property. Old prisons I heard they're going to turn a couple of them into mental health facilities. We need those. The state hospitals got closed up years ago in Pennsylvania. Okay? And now we have a crisis of now where the state now has to fund some of this stuff because of the government shutdown, and the state don't even have a budget. And there's a lot of state programs now that are going to be affected because of you, Governor Shapiro, because you lied. You lied to the Republicans. To some of you out there, that doesn't mean crap. It really doesn't. And you know why it don't mean crap to you? Because you don't care. It's that simple. You don't care. As a voter, you should care. But no, you're a progressive Democrat who doesn't care whether somebody gets screwed, whether there's no police, whether there's no public safety, whether just the litter gets picked up, whether there's criminals running around on the street. You don't care. You have this radical progressive thing that you just love to do. All right. Josh Shapiro, you learned your lesson when they tried to torch your mansion. The guy was in mental health problem. Now you're starting to understand that you have an issue with mental health in Pennsylvania, and you got to get it done. But you can't do nothing when you don't have a budget. Can the turnpike salt the road? I have to go up in January to Pittsburgh. Do you think I want to go on a turnpike with snowy road and have my wife drive my van up through there? No. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Does this click into everybody? Pennsylvania and across the country, you're watching this today. If you're a voter, I'd go and vote everybody out. And stop putting in these radical progressives who want to defund your police department. And you remember this, when your daughter gets sexually assaulted, when your son gets murdered, your house gets robbed, your car gets stolen, I don't want to hear it. Because if you're one of those people who wanted the police defunded or cut their budgets or lay off police officers, don't do it. Do what they do in the Pittsburgh area. All right. I'm trying to get one of the council people from Swissville on with me and Tony on the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show. Swissville and Braddock Hills up in Allegheny County in Pittsburgh are merging. Police departments have merged and they've made regional police, and it's working. But at least they have police. And in Pennsylvania, there's a law that states that if your town does not have police, the state police are obligated to patrol it. Okay? All right? But why put strain on the state police because you want to be a progressive and you want to be a judge who puts everybody out on the street, who that gives no bail, who decides to just let a murderer walk away. But then when that murderer sexually assaults your daughter, I don't want to hear it. I don't. Budget cuts in Pennsylvania, budget cuts across the country. We have a major shutdown of governments in one state, and we have in all across the country because of foolishness. And I told you tonight, and I don't break my promises, I was going to tear Josh Shapiro apart tonight, and I'm going to continue to do it all the way up until getting ready to wrap it up now. And I said what I had to say about Josh Shapiro, and shame on you, Josh Shapiro, for lying to the Republicans. This all could have been done if you wouldn't have taken that education money and put it somewhere else. And give it to Philadelphia or give it to Pittsburgh or give it to whomever. And you took their education money and you took it and put it somewhere else. And you lied to the Republicans. So now they're sticking it back. And I know it's affecting you as a voter. I get that. But if you're a Republican voter who was promised that your education would be fine in your community, and Josh Shapiro takes your money away, that's what happens to you. All right. That tonight is the way I see it. Okay. All right. A few announcements here tonight. As always, we have the triple header of Ralph Williams Saturday coming up this Saturday. It's the Ralph Williams Tony Moreno show every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 1250 a.m. The Answer 92.5 up in Western Pennsylvania on the internet. The answerpgh.com. All right. Now, starting this Sunday, the 26th of October at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Sunday edition of the Ralph Williams Tony Moreno show. Same thing, same station, same time, different time. 10 to 11 a.m. Sunday, this Sunday, and every Sunday. Two shows on the weekend. We're taking and invading the weekends. We're going to be invading the weekdays. That's all coming. I'm back on the radio, not just there, but I'm going to be on Highway Radio Hits starting November 6th, 2 to 4 p.m. I'm going to be playing your favorite music on your drive time home. Or if you're at the house, preparing a meal for your family or whatever. And here's my schedule. This is my every week schedule, except tonight we had to change things up because I had to help out Brandon Keeler tonight. So we moved the show to 9 o'clock. Saturdays also is the college football show with me, Ralph Williams, Pensman Sports, and Brian Pettit, and sometimes Leo Haggerty. Okay? We got a lot to talk about. Coaches getting fired. We'll break some games, top 25 games down, talk about different stuff in college football that is going on. This is the show, the ultimate show. It's picking up steam. Saturday, 10 a.m., YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. There it is right there. Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network and the Huddle Sports Network as well. All right. All right. Also, then to conclude and complete the triple header of Ralph Williams Saturday, 2 p.m., 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on FM down, theanswerpgh.com. Every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., the Sports Corner radio show. We'll break down the Steeler Green Bay game, Pitt versus NC State, and a whole lot more. With me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. All right. Hope that you listen and watch this on the triple header of Ralph Williams Saturday. All right. Please tune in. Please listen. And also support my friends and fellow colleagues in media, especially these guys. Support the new Highway Radio Hits. Hey, these guys play some great music. I'm on one time on Thursdays, 2 to 4, if my schedule permits. I might be on a few more days. All right. Okay. I'm going to be spinning tunes. DJ Fun is back. I'm on the radio now. And next year, I'm going to be out in Ocean City on the boardwalk playing music and doing all my DJ work. You know why? Because I love it. I love being out there talking to people. I love being out there spinning tunes and people laughing and having fun. And I like the fact that I'm handicapped and I'm out there doing this kind of stuff. All right. Sports Nut Show, Tuesdays, Fridays. Tonight, he had a special show tonight. I was on with him earlier. I want to thank Brandon Keeler for letting me come on tonight on the Sports Nut Show. We were on at 7:30. That's why I had to move his show up to 9 o'clock to accommodate the Sports Nut Show. Pensman Sports, another good friend of mine. We help each other in the media here. Pensman and I have become very good friends. In fact, he's coming down here, and Pensman and I are going to be broadcasting live here November the 8th, Saturday, live for the college football show. He'll be here with me in my studio, right next to me. We're going to broadcast live along with Brian Pettit and a guest of our choosing. Okay? November 8th. Mark it on your calendar. Tiger Stripes Media, Brian Pettit, what a guy. He covers Clemson and a lot of other sports as well. Great with NASCAR. He loves baseball, football. He covers a lot of stuff in the South Carolina and North Carolina area, but he's also knowledgeable of stuff. Watch his programs. Like and subscribe to these guys. Help these guys out. Help me out. Help me get to 400 by the end of the year. I only need 15, and that's all I'm asking. Please help me get to 400 by the end of the year. It's been a little bit of a slow climb on Twitter for followers. All right. I'm on LinkedIn. Follow me there, too. I'm on Blue Sky. Follow me there, too. I'm on TikTok now. I'm on Instagram. Again, I'm back on Instagram. All right. I had to get away from a few things because of my move here and because of things going on in my home and my health and some things with my family. Now everything's kind of calmed down a little bit. Now I can get back into the groove. All right. And that's what's going on now. I'm in the groove. I'm in the zone, man. Remember Woody Harrelson and White Men Can't Jump? I'm in the zone, man. I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone, man. Why? Because I'm Ralph Williams. Yeah. Let me talk to you. Okay? Let me talk to you. Give me that opportunity. You want it to keep here? You got to get me some more viewers. Because I'll go to Spreaker Radio. I'm going to Spotify. I'm moving shows around, putting them on Blast Radio. I'm looking into that. I just got equipment for them. I'm on that Highway Radio Hits. I'm on radio station in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be on a radio station down here, possibly talking sports during drive time. Okay? All right? So help me out here. Get me some viewers. Get me some likes and subscribe. Help my friends out. Watch their content. Watch mine. Ralphie's Kitchen. All right? Watch it tonight. Ralphie's Kitchen tonight. We had boneless wings and Stouffer's brand new. It's like Velveeta shells and cheese, macaroni and cheese in a box. It was good. One thing I'll say about Stouffer's never, ever disappoints. And remember they had the old commercial, and I don't know if you remember this, some of you, I don't even know if you were even born then. Nothing comes closer to home. And that's the truth. There's a program on the History Channel you might want to look up. If you have cable going on demand or a Fire Stick or whatever you have, go into the History Channel, look up Foods That Made America. Watch the one about Stouffer, Chef Boyardee, Kraft, okay? How they went ahead and did it like this, okay? Check it out. All right, I'm Ralph Williams. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. I'll be back next week at 7:30, my usual time, unless otherwise noted. All right? Check my social media platforms, Facebook, the main ones, Facebook, Twitter, X, and also on YouTube for any information regarding any showtime changes or anything else. All right? I want to thank you for watching tonight. And by all means, the way I see it, please be safe. Thank you.